All right, y'all. Got to give me some major grace today. When it rains, it pours, and so I do apologize. You could see my face, I'm sure, at the end of that video. My computer died. And I have an older computer, so when it tells me that it is 2/3 charged, I shouldn't listen to it, and I should charge it. But unfortunately, I put faith in the wrong thing. So don't we all do that? I had finished reading chapter 7, verse 54 through the end. And I'm going to pick back up just right where I left off at chapter 8, verse 1. And again, if you're following me, we're in Acts. Now Saul was consenting to his death. At that time, a great persecution arose against the church, which was at Jerusalem. And they were all scattered throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria. Apostles and devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentation over him. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering every house and dragging off men and women, committing them to prison. Here we're going to jump over to Acts chapter 9. And we're going to go to, we're going to read verses 1 through 9, and then we're going to skip to verses 20 through 22. Then Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked letters from him to the synagogues of Damascus, so that if he found any who were of the way, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. As he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly a light shone around him from heaven. Then he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And he said, "Who are you, Lord?" And the Lord said, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. It is hard for you to kick against the goads." So he, trembling and astonished, said, "Lord, what do you want me to do?" Then the Lord said to him, "Arise and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do." And the men who journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice but seeing no one. Then Saul arose from the ground, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no one. But they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither ate nor drank. And here, let's skip down to verses 20 through 22. Immediately he preached the Christ in the synagogues, that he is the Son of God. Then all who heard were amazed and said, "Is this not he who destroyed those who called on this name in Jerusalem, and has come here for that purpose, so that he might bring them bound to the chief priests?" But Saul increased all the more in strength and confounded the Jews who dwelt in Damascus, proving that this Jesus is the Christ. Doesn't God change our hearts in such miraculous ways? Sometimes we have to have something devastating happen around us. George Floyd's death is devastating. But God can change people's hearts in this. And I pray that there is hope in this, because our hope is in God. Let all that I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him. I love you all. Stay safe out there, and pray for those people in your lives. Pray for our community, pray for our country, pray for our world, as there are so many hurting people. Let us listen more. Use our 2 ears. Ask questions. Be curious and listen. And let God change your heart. Love you.